You're welcome to Green Nigeria.
Okay, you're welcome to your number one and authentic program on tourism and agriculture. It's Green Nigeria Radio Show, and today we'll be having some resource persons tell us about the importance of agriculture in our society and what government needs to do and what the private sector needs to do, or what the government is doing ongoing, and how government programs in the past has been successful or has failed, and what has degenerated to the ongoing protest that started on the 1st of August and is escalating over the country. This is Green Nigeria Radio Show. When we come back on this quick break, we will be joined by Comrade Sunday Agbo and Prince Will Onyeka, who are the resource persons for today's program. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You're welcome to Green Nigeria.
We'll be discussing the way forward for agriculture and way forward for a nation as Nigeria. Okay, so we'll go on. Comrade Sunday, you're welcome to Green Nigeria Radio Show.
Oh, thank you so much. Glad to be part of this program.
Thank you. Also welcome.
You're welcome.
Okay. So we'll start from you, Comrade Sunday Agbo. What is your take on agriculture? Do you think the government is doing enough? The role of the agriculture is the responsibility of the government, or you think the private sector is responsible for agriculture?
I want to appreciate you for this program that you have given us the opportunity to speak out. It is interesting to know that the government have been trying, but for me, I will rather say, as a layman, from the look of things, the government have not done much per se. They can do better off. If you look at the situation of things in the country, how things have been going in the country, a lot of people today have been surviving based on how it has always been. People thrive based on subsistence agriculture that has always been in existence. I grew up with my parents where we were setting up little farming tradition behind the house and all of that. That is what is still trending today. And whenever government comes up with policies, I might not have the statistic to boost up, but I have one or two records of people who have participated in the past agricultural government programs that have failed in the past, where government don't even have data collecting system to ensure that whoever that is applying for agricultural loan projects is being supervised, ensure that whatever proposal that has been submitted to the government is being looked upon to ensure that these people actually are doing what they say they are doing. It's not always there per se. So you see that at the end, government gives people money and they use this money to do other things. At the end, the aim of food production is being forfeited. It's not achieved. And government is not concerned, because as long as the government interest is to see how they can do their 4 years and get out of office, or 4 years and remain in the office and get what they want, the interest of the masses is not there. The government has a very key role to play to ensure that things work out. There are policies that government can implement to ensure that food shortage and scarcity no longer become an issue in Nigeria. For instance, what is the primary aim of a government? The government are there for life security, to ensure that the well-being of Nigerians is okay. So how well have they gone about these things? Today, farmers cannot go to the farm because of bandits, farmers, and what header crashes. You understand me? They can't go to the farm to achieve that. Government has the security within their profit, and they cannot use the security to ensure that farmers go to the farm. It's one big thing. Secondly, if you look at critically, you see that no government in the world that is able to achieve good farming yield without the government support.
Okay, the question now is agriculture the responsibility of government, or it should be left to the private sector and the subsistence farming that has been going on for years, that we are aware of? Every neighbor, every man, farm behind your backyard, and let's contribute the our own quarter to food security in that manner, or it should be the burden of the government?
That's a very good question. You see, like I said, government, let me even try to bring it in a local man point of view. Why do we even have government in place? Take a look at where we started from. In the primary school, they'll tell you, guy, when a teacher or a lecturer comes to the class for the first time, say, who is your leader? Who is leading this class? A class rep, a monitor, or somebody. There must be a leader. You understand me? That will direct and guide the people through. That is what the government is there to do. If the government interest is to ensure that this thing is achieved, the government has the power to ensure that mechanized farming is being implemented. The individuals we are talking about here, if they go into private organization, how much do they have? What is the capital base? Who controls the bank? It's the government. When you talk about,
in a nutshell, what you are saying is that the government should be responsible for food security totally.
Not totally per se. There are policies that when they are being implemented, private partners can also partake in agricultural produce, but the bulk of the whole thing lies on the government.
So what you are saying now is that the subsistent farming of every neighbor having plant or food produce at their backyard and all that should be discouraged, and farming should be done at a larger scale for progress. Is that
it shouldn't be discouraged?
Okay.
It shouldn't be discouraged. You cannot take it out. If you take it out, a lot of people will go into starvation, because that's what has been sustaining Nigeria over the times.
Okay, hold your thoughts on that. Comrade Prince Will Onyeka, well, you are welcome once again.
Welcome.
Yeah, so the responsibility of government solely on providing for the nation in terms of agriculture, or the private sector should also be key in doing, partaking in agriculture. What is your take on this?
Thank you for this program. I voted for this long to share my view on this. Okay, we all know that agriculture is just a sector among many, and government has key role to play, but the burden solely depends on the private sectors and the masses. All right, we are in the age of agricultural and food consciousness.
Okay,
all right, and the masses need to arise and bring back. Let's go back to the age of groundnut pyramid in Kano, the cocoa in the west, the palm oil in the east, where the masses have the zeal to farm. Right? Take a look at Ethiopia. Ethiopia as a country has a rich history in farming. Till today, Ethiopia they still record 90% of the agricultural exports.
Has this been backed by the government, or it's a private sector driven?
Okay, that is a nice question. Now the zeal has to be there. Government has to invest when there is zeal to farm. It's unfortunate that the masses of these days have lost the zeal to farm. We all need to go back to the farm. The government cannot do all. Government can only implement when the zeal is there. China has been able, please fact check me, China has been able to produce, they are the largest producer of staple foods like rice, corn, wheat, 1,095 million metric tons. How are they able to do that? How are they able to do that? Because the zeal to farm, the zeal to produce in droves are there by the masses. All right. Now we cannot rule out subsistence farming from the picture. All right. When we are looking at the bigger picture, which is export, that is where we need government, where we need the government implementation. All right. And that can only be achieved if the zeal for us to go back to the farm is there. Each person, each family need to come out. Most of the Nigerian youth today, if you should ask any Nigerian youth, agriculture, let's get back to the farm. Nigeria, 80% of Nigerian youths are not ready to soil their hands, and it is contributing to food shortage that we are having today. It's unfortunate. Government needs to come in and bring our policies, but we as individuals, we have a key role to play in this. Thank you.
Okay, so what you are saying is that it is not totally the responsibility of the government to provide food for a nation.
No, it's not. I can't rule it out. Government has key role to play, but the masses, the individuals, have a bigger role to play. All right. Now we need to have that drive. All right. You can only access. You and I know that you can only access agricultural loan grants if you have something feasible that some government can implement on. All right. You cannot source out for loan, agricultural loan, when you don't have that zeal, when there is nothing on ground. I want you to understand this. All right. You and I have a major role to play before government can implement on that. Right. Thank you.
Okay, so are you in tone with what he's saying? Because it seems you guys are now saying the same thing. The private sector has to be involved. There should be seriousness from the private sector, but the government has to give the motivation and all that. Are you on the same?
You say, whatever we are saying here, we should get it clearer. It is important that we know what we are saying here in the clear terms. You understand me? Nigerians are not lazy people. Nigerians have been this hard-working kind of people. They are always there trying to put one or two things together. If you look at the food today that you see today that is in circulation, is private individual subsistence farming that has been in existence, private agricultural farms and all of that. The government needs to do more. The bulk of the whole thing lies on the government. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying here. Because when you talk about funding commercial farming today, you are talking about mechanized farming in large scale. It's only government that can be able to offer such solutions. How do you do such? By creating policies that will encourage local farmers. We have local farmers. If you look at, we are standing along a farm here. You can see this is a farm beside us here. Behind us here, there's a farm. You understand me? People are farming. Your backyard, my backyard, everywhere around us is farm. You see farms around us. But of what impact have we gotten from this? You see these little things that we get every day. We can do better off as a nation if the government comes out and design a template. You understand me? A plan on how to go about agriculture. Nigeria will be a different place entirely. Because I want to say something. Agricultural investment is a big pain entirely today. One, how to access a land. There are people who have interest to go into farming. They don't have the land. The lands you act is the government that controls it. The government has a way she can be able to, subtle it in a way. You understand me? You talk about government loans. Government loans should be accessible at a minimal interest rate.
Do you think the government has not done enough programs that should have taken us out of the current dilemma?
They might have.
I can mention a lot of them.
They might have done.
Anchor borrowers, there was one that the Vice President Osibajo went out into the market to visit and give people. You have a lot of loans, a lot of programs. Beautiful ideas came up. They did not work. What is wrong? Is the problem from the government or from the governed?
Thank you so much. You see, Nigerians, we are just the kind of people we are. But nevertheless, the government has a lot to do in that regard. How do I mean? It's not just about giving out monies. It's not just about doing out funds to farmers that we have empowered them and all of that. Let me ask, what yardstick? What yardstick is the government using to give out these funds? And what follow-up measures do they have to ensure that this money we have given, because the government has enough manpower. The government should not talk about manpower. If government wants you to do this and achieve it, they should have what it takes to follow up, to ensure that what is being given is taken upon. You understand me? To see that the end result is there. And secondly, let me tell you, we don't have good data collation system in Nigeria. As I'm talking to you now, if you ask the previous government about the agricultural produce and all of that, the people they gave money and all of that, what they did with that money and all of that, they cannot account for it. There's no accountability. As they give it, their mind is off. And you know the kind of people we are. Educationally, we are not even sound. You understand me? And the interest of the nation is not at heart. And who do you think is going to build that interest of the nation? It's the government. It's the government. The interest of the nation comes first, and when it is established, then the government ensure that there is a way, a path that the people goes through.
Okay. I will hold your thoughts on that. Number one, Nigerians are very educated people. Number two, we have a data.
They don't have a data
NISAL, the microfinance bank that is owned by government, whose responsibility was to help these farmers and people who want to go into such businesses that are related to agriculture, were the ones who disbursed
the funds.
these funds.
Good.
So they have a data.
Okay.
They have, you can get, what data are we talking about? Your name, BVN, which you can be accessed
The
from
farm
anywhere.
location.
You understand?
The farm location.
They had people who controlled these farm locations. Okay?
Have they gone to visit the farm to ensure that this farm is actually there?
Story for another day. You understand? But
The farm has to be on ground, then follow up to ensure that what you say you are doing, did you actually do it? Are you actually doing it? Then if you say they are season for farming and all of that. I don't know you understand me. When you say you are farming corn for this season, you understand me? It's a time for harvest. At that time, was there a follow-up to ensure that, actually these people actually harvested? What was done with the harvest? The government collected it to sell to the public, or was there an avenue that it was channeled to the market? These things is a chain. It's a chain.
Sorry if I may.
Okay.
Sorry if I may come in. Now, we are conflicting on this. But if I should add to this, the whole thing, the onus lies on the masses, you and I.
okay.
When the drive is not there, the government policies, no government policies will sustain the implementation of agriculture and farming. Right? Look at the policies ranging from Operation Feed the Nation under the military regime by the ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo, and the anchor borrower by Muhammadu Buhari. All of this implementation will not work, and they are bound to fail when the drive to farm is not there.
What you are saying now in a nutshell is that the youths are not interested in agriculture.
80% of Nigerian youths have lost the zeal in
I
agriculture.
disagree with that.
We don't have that zeal to farm. And if, believe me, some youths,
What could be the reason? What could inform this decision of yours?
that is a reorientation. On that aspect, anyway, I blame the government. The government need to reawaken the consciousness of the Nigerian citizens on the importance of agriculture. All right.
About
Now,
sensitization.
we all know that agriculture can 3 times move the masses out of poverty than any sector.
Yes.
Now, the government needs to come in and play a key role on that aspect. You know, this discourse has taken years. You know, government needs to diversify the economy. Agriculture is an important sector anyway. But the drive to farm lies on the masses. And these government policies,
And you say the masses are not interested.
they are not interested, and it's a big problem. So the implementation, they are bound to fail.
I know you have your own view on this, but I want to state that the diversity, the groundnut pyramid you mentioned, agriculture being our main stake before 1953, before oil was discovered in Oloibiri, present day Bayelsa State, Nigeria, South Nigeria. Our main economic value was agriculture. And so if we have other diversities that we're talking about now, that we need diversity and all that, we're not diverting from the oil that just came. Okay, because agriculture has been there already before we discovered oil. Agriculture was there. You remember, you recall the granite pyramid, the cocoa of the West, you know, and what have you. So agriculture has always been our culture. Okay, but how we can now go back to this agriculture is the challenge you are talking about now, that the youths are not interested. And our comrade here has a different view. He says he doesn't agree with that. And to some extent, I would say it's not as if the youths are not interested, but maybe the drive that they need, that drive now is the government. The interest of the government and strong policies that will actually work, not policies that have been infested by corrupt leaders. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here in a nutshell is that we have already diverted from oil. Nigerian economy is already diversified. You know, we have gold in Zamfara. Gold is being mined in Zamfara, and there's nothing done about it. It is only the oil in the south that is brought to the national table. The gold in Zamfara has been, in a way to say, has been silent. So Nigerian economy has been diversified already. Don't think for once that we only have oil or we only have agriculture we are trying to go back to. Nigerian economy has been diversified over the years. I am well informed that there's gold in this country, and gold is not brought to the table like we share the dividends of crude oil, right? Are you aware we have
yes,
gold?
but sorry if I may object. If I may object to what you said earlier, the drive to farm does not come from the government.
Okay.
Government will not drive the masses to farm.
Okay.
What are we saying here? Farming is an honorable source of income.
Okay.
Right? The way a youth can go to the university, tertiary institution to study, to become an engineer, lawyer, and all of that. That is the same way someone can actually go and study agriculture. Right?
Okay.
Now, the drive doesn't come from the government.
Okay. Now, I know
the drive is supposed to come from the masses.
I know you have your own take on this. What do you think? What is your take?
So we keep saying this, we keep saying it. And the truth is that, just like you mentioned, you rightly mentioned, farming, agriculture has been our culture. It's inbuilt. When you see the youth trying to digress from it, it's because of modern trends. Even at that, government has not really done what they are supposed to do. There should be sensitization, there should be programs that should be carried out. I attended 1 or 2 programs with the Nigerian Entrepreneurship Forum in connection with GIZ, a German firm, regarding this issue of agriculture.
Okay.
There are not enough agricultural sensitization programs for the youth to be carried along. But even at that, as I speak to you individually, a lot of people are into farming. Like where I'm standing here, behind me here is a farm. You understand me? We are into farming.
Even around us here.
You understand me? Yesterday we were standing together. A friend of ours was passing. You understand me? So a friend of ours was passing around us yesterday with corn and all of that. Do you think it's government that gave him that idea? It's personal drive because of hunger. I don't know you understand me. Why do we go to school? We go to school so that we can be able to boost the level of our knowledge. You understand me? To have a better understanding of doing things. And when you have acquired such, all you need from the government is policy that can enhance your idea. Do we have it? When it comes, people hijacked it. Government is not interested. When they initiate it, the follow-up is not there.
Okay,
to ensure that, let me land, to ensure that it is follow-up to the latter. Because it's not the stage 1. This is stage 1, this is the second stage, and the latter one, you understand me? Because when you farm at the end, is to ensure that the farm produce are there. You understand me? To be accessing the market. If at the end you are not able to achieve it, the essence of it is useless. I don't know you understand me. So if there's a program, you understand me? If there's a program that is designed, let it be completely designed to see how the first stage can be achieved, the second stage can be achieved, down to the latter. Government has what it takes, the manpower, the finance and everything to ensure that there's a follow-up. It's not just, oh, if you can be able to give us an elaborate project submission and all of that, they accept the project on paper, oh, is that okay, this, then they disburse fund. Then some people take that money, they go and live a flamboyant life somewhere else, buy cars, buy houses and all of that. Then you hear some of them say, during Buhari time, during Jonathan time, I access 50 million naira. Where is the farm? There's no farm, there's no pottery. There's no follow-up. Nobody says anything. Maybe the person that connected you to be able to access such money was giving maybe some percentage of it. Then it dies down. And nothing goes up. Then where is the data that we can say, okay, no, this government has done this. Where are those farms? These are basic things. I might not be here to tell you, I can go on to tell you about the Malaysian palm fruit, whatever, how they started it and all of that. You understand me? You talk about the Chinese government and all of that. All these things were done by the government. The template and everything is designed by the government.
So,
an individual doesn't have that manpower.
So what you are saying now is that it is the government's responsibility to make sure agriculture thrives in a nation.
You're welcome to Green Nigeria.
Okay, now so much has been said about agriculture, and I will take you through this narrative because without food sufficiency, without food security, like the former Minister of Agriculture, Adesina, said some few weeks back, we had him on the program. He said that Nigeria cannot import it out of the food security. Now, talking about food security, talking about security of lives and properties, talking about security in farms, we have an understanding these days that there are some places in the far north that bandits are on ground in farmlands waiting for you to harvest so that you pay taxes. There are some places where you can't go to farm except you pay tax. Not so much going on in terms of the things that are limiting agriculture. Now, today is 2nd of August, and we have so much rioting and protesting in the city, not just in the city center, in FCT where we are. Elsewhere in Kano, there's curfew already on ground. Elsewhere in Benue, Nasarawa, there has been burnings and looting of properties and lives being lost for protest. What has actually engineered this protest today, starting from yesterday, is because there is no sufficient food and the high cost of living has escalated from 0 to 200.
You're welcome to Green Nigeria.
Up till now, Nigerians cannot buy rice after the rice pyramid. So who is deceiving who? If the government has an interest to ensure that things work out, they should set up that plan. It's a plan. How to achieve it to the later, to the very end. Not just initiating it and backing out. Because if the end is not achieved, it's as good as being useless. You understand me? The masses have been thriving. Go out. Nigerians are not lazy people. They might not know how to do it, but they need coordination. And that coordination can only come through the government.
All right.
I also I buy into what he said. But you and I need to come up with some feasible plans. Then from there we can be able to access loans and grants, government loans and grants. Government cannot implement on that without you and I coming up with something tangible. All right, that is what I'm looking at. That is the area I'm looking at. The government has a key role to play: sensitization and implementation and sustenance. But you and I need to come up with some feasible plan. There are many forms of agriculture.
Plans that the government can back up.
Yes, of course.
That
We have snare farming. We have more
has always been
different.
there.
Yes.
Government needs to
That
come
plans
in.
has always been there. That is why you see government will tell you that we have done this thing successfully. They will tell you we achieved this, we achieved. That plans has always been there. I have seen in the platform where somebody will tell you that if you don't even know how to plan your to prepare your project and submit to the government, I can prepare it for you and you pay me so amount. People have been doing it. And
But
they
is
did
it right?
So
Is he right?
the follow
It's
up
not
of
right.
government is
It's
not
the
there.
proper thing. You need to come up with something tangible, not writing and seeking for loan when you don't have anything tangible to do.
That is where
You
the
just
government
make
is
away with the money.
lacking, because the government has all it takes, the manpower to follow it to the latter. If
government say this is what we want. This, they should be able to have every machinery on ground at every point to see that they are achieving what they say they want to achieve. And in that way, we will get it right. By the time you default, you can be picked up.
We'll hold your thoughts on this conversation for today. We have been talking with Comrade Sunday Agbo and Comrade Prince Will Onyekachi, and they have really been of great resource. You know, today talking about agriculture, talking about the challenges, talking about government interventions that failed in the past, and talking the way forward in terms of how to make this agribusiness thrive. Okay, so today is the 2nd of August 2024, and is the second day of the protest happening in the city center, happening all over across the nation, and we've heard and witnessed some protest that has caused the loss of lives and properties, and we use this platform to actually beg the youths and those involved, please protest peacefully. What we need is a peaceful protest. Let us tell the government that we are not out to destroy, but to proffer solution, or to make the government bring up solutions that will help the masses. Programs and interventions that will better the lives of the masses. That is what we want. We don't want more destructions. Don't go about destroying, killing and maiming people, destroying properties, and then the government will come back again to allocate monies to rebuild these things, and then the corruption cycle continues. You shoot yourself in the foot. So I will say to you, protest peacefully. You're going to be protesting, protest peacefully. Okay, finally we will have one or two final takes from our guest today, Mr. Comrade Sunday Agbo. What will be your final take in 40 seconds?
Well, thank you so much. It's really nice to be part of this program. I just want to advise, mine is just a subtle advice or suggestion to the government. Okay. If the government can be able to also ensure that there are policies that encourages our tertiary institutions like the University of Agriculture, Umudike, Makurdi, and other places like Zaria and other places, if they can be able to encourage them with programs that can be able to enable them go into mass agriculture production, so that it will see the way it will have a positive impact on our system. It will go a long way. That is what I want to advise or suggest to the government, because it's very important. Thank you so much, and I pray that we get it right so that Nigeria will be fine as a nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Comrade Prince Will Onyeka, what will be your final take in 40 seconds?
Okay, governments actually need to look at the future. Okay. See, earlier I said that the China is the highest producer globally of staple foods, right? And they produce 1,095 million metric tons of these staple foods annually. You see, now government need to sensitize, implement, come up with sustainable policies, right policies that will help us project us into the future. And we as citizens, you and I, need to have that drive. We need to come up with some plans, agricultural plans. Let's go back to farm, right? That is where we can get it right, and government needs to come in and implement on that project that you and I kick-started. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. See you next time on the program. This is the Authentic Voice for Tourism and Agriculture. It's Green Nigeria Radio Show, and my name is Meshach Yagi. Peace to Nigeria.
You're welcome to Green Nigeria.